Okay, so recently I've been doing a lot of domes that you have to support, and if we use this as an example, we got 2 days for print time, 479 grams for the part itself, no support material included. And so in this case, we're actually going to ignore the rest of this stuff here. Well, so if we show you, we say support everywhere, we slice it now. Alright, you can see it's 1,588 grams. So that's like 1,100 grams to support 479 grams, which isn't that great, right? So if we change this to for support enforcers only, and if we concentrate just on the dome section for now, if we say do an overhang of like 30 degrees, we'll say support that. So even if we just support the dome, then we're still looking at about, what, 600, maybe 700 grams of support material that Prusa Slicer would generate. And so that's about the biggest section of the support material. So if we can reduce that, that'd be great. So the way that I do it is I will take the mesh into Fusion, and working with the mesh in Fusion is not fun. Don't move the mesh once you insert it, because we want our parts to line up when we pull them into Prusa Slicer. So here's the mesh. So we need some lines off this mesh, but you can't really do anything with the mesh itself. So what you do is search, and you're looking for create mesh section sketch, and we want it on this, and then it puts it pretty much in the middle. So we'll just take that, and now we'll look at it from the side, and it created this sketch over here for that. If we say edit this sketch, you can actually ditch the body. We've got this line here, but it's not useful. We can't do anything with it. So what you have to do is fit curves to mesh section. So say start here and fit a line to about here. The max deviation is 0. It's like a perfect fit. So now we have a line that we can use. And in this sketch we can say offset by about 4 millimeters. And we want to support from about here over to the middle, but we want it to go all the way down to the base here. So if we take the rectangle, draw over half of it, then we're about there. And just to make sure we're on the floor, so these two are collinear. So now you see we've got this, and it's not quite perfect, so you want to take the lower side because you don't want it poking out through the top. So we'll say revolve this around this line, and we'll turn on our bodies. Let's get rid of the helmet for now. And so now we've got a cylinder that sits underneath like that and comes all the way almost to the top. And so if you took that cylinder in and did like support cubic, you could reduce it a little bit, one wall, that kind of thing. But what we can do is we can actually shell this. We want this face to go away, and we want the whole thing to be about 0.5 millimeters thick. So now you can see it's a shell. We want the top to be a little thicker so it's got more time to print that overhang. So what we'll do is we'll offset the face and we'll pull it down about 0.4, so the whole thing will be about 0.9 on the top. And in this case, this will actually probably print okay. Like it'd be, kind of ugly on the bottom and stuff hanging down, but we don't care because it's support material. And the helmet will be sitting on the top. So this will actually work for this one. But what you can do is you can add more supports inside of it if it was a really big dome. So we're going to take a sketch on here, and then we need a line from the center over to the edge, and we'll finish that sketch, and then we'll do a plane at an angle. We want it up and down in the middle like that. And then we'll start a sketch on that plane, and we'll say intersect with this body. So basically wherever that plane passes through this body, we'll have a line. So now we get rid of the bodies again. Oh, that did not work. So intersect. So we're in the sketch. We say intersect with this body. Okay. Why are we not getting the drawing? Scroll along. Try it again. Alright. So we're sketch 3, so if we look at that, straight up and down, and then intersect this body, there we go. Say okay, we get rid of the bodies, now we've got the outline. So what you can do is you can add a line from the center here down at something you know your printer will print, so like 45 degrees is pretty easy, right? And we'll hook it there, and then we'll do another line. Do another line up and match it, and we want these two lines parallel. And then dimension them, you know, you can just do 2.5, hopefully to be able to print that in one shot. So now you have this comes across and we'll meet up and we'll support the center. But if it's a really wide dome, you can add more struts off of this basically. As many as you kind of want or think you need to support your, like I said, you put them off at some angle in which you know your printer doesn't have a problem with. And now you can revolve this around, we need a vertical axis. Go back to the center, just pull one down. So S revolve. And we go around this axis, and we're going to do a join onto this body. So we say okay. So now if we were to take a look at the sectional analysis for this, so we can see it, you can see that you have this structure inside there with nothing else inside of it. That's only 0.5 millimeters thick, 0.9 on the top. And that'll provide the support material for your dome to print on top of. So now the thing is that you have to define where you want the support materials. So you have to build a support enforcer object. And so if we go back to this sketch, we edit this sketch, let's get rid of the bodies again. So we've got this line across the top here and this line across the top. If you do an offset, you can pull it down into the middle of the object itself. So support, if you just turned on support, it would actually try and support this support object, which isn't what we want. So we have to give it a support enforcer object that shows it where support should be. It's basically above this, but not below. So we'll go in the middle of it, and then we'll go up enough to cover our helmet. And so the one above it, in this case, doesn't really matter. Oops. We want to do offset on this and this, and pull it into the middle of the object. Okay, and then I've found if you were to go all the way to the end here, Prusa Slicer is going to try and add some supports out here, and it's going to have to build them all the way up, so you want to actually come in from the edge a little bit. And then go up so that we know we're covering the helmet. And then we actually want to come up from the middle and down to the middle, or actually down to that white line. There we go. So then we do another revolve of this and this part inside the object. And the axis is the middle, and you want to make sure it's a new body. And so now we have the base, which is the support, and then the support and force are here. And so if we take those, save as mesh. So this is the support. As you can see, I've done this before. And the support and forcer. Now we can go back into Prusa Slicer, and we can go to this and say, actually, we got to clear. So now there's no support. And if we go to, oops, don't clear it. There we go. So go to this and we say add part, and we load the support underneath. Got that. And then we say load, we actually add support enforcer load. And we'll put the enforcer so that does that. Now we've got to wait and slice it. Alright, so now we've got this that gets built up, and then under the top you can see it builds a support structure between the two objects. And so this top dome is perfectly supported, and with the changes in 2.4 Prusa Slicer for the support material, I found I can just like push this to the side and this whole thing will pop out. Now you'll also see that there's only 0.5 millimeters connected here. And so that's a little bit worrisome as far as it coming loose. In Prusa Slicer, if I have multiple objects, I can add a brim to an individual object, but I'm not able to add a brim to an individual part of an object. But it's pretty easy just to go and add the brim in Fusion. So if we do there, and then we go out, and then we say come up, oops, we just want this profile, extrude, oh, I guess we'll project it real quick. Now we can extrude just this, and we'll go up 0.2 of an inch. So now we've got our brim that we've added on there. So we have to export the part again though. So we save out the part as the support, yes. And then in Fusion, or excuse me, in Prusa Slicer, you can just go to support and say reload from disk. And there's your brim. And then we'll slice it, please. There you go. So 650 to support the dome instead of 1100, which is considerably better. And you can then, if you want to, or if you need to, go around and paint on any supports you need. So if we say 30, we turn on Smart Fill Brush, you can just click on any of the other overhangs. That can give you trouble. So like there, and that one, and that one. There's one inside here. So that should be pretty well supported. These little ones I think will probably come out okay. And so if we slice that, so there you go, 766.7 for it to be pretty much fully supported. And that's a lot better than 1500.